Ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing history in the making right now. We have just witnessed the biggest banking outage and IT outage in history. We have also seen over the past week huge world-changing events happening. We saw the assassination attempt of Donald Trump. We see now, just breaking news this morning in Australia time evening in the US, Biden has dropped out of the presidential race and has now endorsed Kamala Harris, who I think could be much, much worse. We are seeing secret bank ratings happening in the banking system that shows the banking system is deteriorating rapidly, and much, much more. So everyone, we got a lot to cover what's happened over the past week. Again, this has been world history changing kind of events that are happening right now. We are in the middle of history right now, and people will talk about this for decades and decades to come. So everyone, you know what time it is. Let's get straight into the news, the facts, and the data. Okay, well, first things first, we need to talk about the markets. The markets were very rocky last week. They don't know what's going to happen with what's going on with politics right now, with who's going to get in office. I think we all know President Donald Trump, or soon to be again, President Donald Trump will win. But the Dow tumbled more than 370 points on Friday, and it posted its worst week since April among big tech issues. And I found it funny. The few days leading up to this huge outage with Microsoft, a lot of tech stocks were selling off. So did people know that this was going to happen? Because look at this. This is the biggest IT outage in history and brings world to a halt. And this was massive, massive industries affected. Airlines, banks. I saw lots of people trying to get money out of the bank. A lot of people went to the grocery store, tried to buy groceries, and they could not buy it. And people are still telling me, Michael, why are you going on about always having cash? The banking system isn't going to go down. Look what's happening, people. We're seeing IT issue, banking outage. Every single month now, there's some kind of outage. And they are trying to go cashless. This is absurd. They're trying to go cashless when we're having IT outages now. It seems like it's getting worse and worse. And they also want to bring a central bank digital currency, which we can see why this is so dangerous, and you always need to have cash on hand. But not only banks, hospitals, supermarkets were grappling with the tech chaos as well. So if you think it's over, according to experts, they're saying this could lead to a much bigger IT meltdown. And what would happen if we saw an EMP attack? We would see utter chaos. So the CrowdStrike fail and the next global IT meltdown is already in the making. In the aftermath of a global IT outage caused by CrowdStrike software bug, IT experts point to the current system excessive centralization, or should I say the centralization of IT is a big security risk. And they're just trying to make it more centralized, especially what would happen if they made literally a central bank digital currency. We'd see chaos. Among the best core defenses against having a business compromised by this level of technical failure is requiring software updates to be rolled out incrementally and building redundancy into the systems. So people, we're going to see more and more outages like this. You need to be prepared. But look what else is happening, everyone. So secret bank ratings show US regulators' concern on handling risk. So they do not want to tell you, but remember when FDIC had that meeting and said, look, we don't want to tell the public about how weak the banking system is. We know how fragile it is, because if people really knew, everyone would run to the bank, withdraw all their cash, and the banking system would collapse instantly. So half of the biggest banks have subpar operational risk management. Half. And it doesn't take half of the banks to have some issue. It only takes a few of the big banks for it to have massive domino effects. Regulators have been ramping up scrutiny after failures. So we're definitely seeing this more and more. And we will need that to happen more and more. But unfortunately, they're still getting away with it. Now, some very, very sad events that happened over the past couple of weeks. The truth is coming out now, because we saw the clip of the man being interviewed saying he was pointing to the police that the gunman was on the roof. But their response wasn't adequate. But now we have even more information that the Secret Service knew 20 minutes beforehand about the shooter. And there's even come out some more information with some encrypted overseas accounts. And why I'm speaking about this, because if there's political instability in the US, this is going to affect the US dollar, And like we're seeing in the markets right now, it's going to cause a lot of volatility in the markets. And this is why the US, I think, needs a strong leader like Donald Trump. We saw what happened under Biden. The world fell into chaos. We saw wars break out all over the world. We need a strong leader. And when I saw Donald Trump stand up with his fist in the air, being tested, this was a real moment. He'd just been shot in the face. Luckily, by the grace of God, it only just hit his ear. And he was not fearful. He stood up and he said to fight. Now, on the other hand, Biden, he can't even walk straight without falling down, okay? So whether you like Trump or not, he's real and he really does love America and wants what's best for America. But we did just get this news, which is no surprise. I think the reason why they put Biden in that debate was because they knew he had no chance of winning. And that's why they put him out there, you know, with his face looking around when he was like, oh, where am I during the debate. So Biden ends failing re-election campaign and now backs Harris. Now, I'm actually very worried because I think Kamala Harris could be much, much worse than Biden, especially with the border. We all know that the Democrats love an open border. Hillary Clinton said she dreamt of a day that there would be an open border, and we almost have that now. But we need to secure the border because we're witnessing America in decay. And again, this all has huge consequences for the US dollar and the economy. But their first call didn't go so great for Kamala Harris. Ludicrous donors leave call with Kamala Harris frustrated and annoyed. So I know what you're thinking. Well, okay, how does politics and economics tie up and what should we do? Well, what this means is we're going to see a lot of volatility in the markets ahead to figure out who is in the running, who is going to win. Donald Trump, is Kamala Harris going to have any chance? Are they going to replace her with someone else? We're going to see lots of volatility. I do think Trump has a very, very strong chance of winning, but that's, you know, other things could maybe influence that, if you get what I mean, like what happened last time. But we're going to see a lot of volatility. And again, with a banking system, you need to have cash on hand because things are only going to get worse. So that's the end of the news segment of today's video. And I now want to talk about today's video sponsor, Alaska Energy Metals. Now that stock ticker symbol AKEMF, because this company is a very rare gem in the nickel world. And it's not just any project, it's the first one in years that caught my eye for all the right reasons. Nickel, which is traditionally used in stainless steel, is now a game changer in the EV revolution. While most of the world's nickel comes from Indonesia and Philippines, their low-grade, environmentally detrimental mining practices are a growing concern, especially for EVs that demand high ESG standards. From BlackRock's sustainability focus to Putin's geopolitical moves, sourcing nickel is fraught with challenges. Even Australia's output isn't sufficient for growing demand. So enter Alaska Energy Metals. Their CEO Greg first discovered nickel potential in Alaska back in 1995. Fast forward and he acquires this project for a steal $400,000 in 2018. Later adding the previous company's data for just $1 million and shares. Talk about the deal of a century. Then there's Cobalt Metals, backed by tech billionaires using AI to scour the planet for nickel. Where do they end up? Right next to Alaska Energy Metals. If that doesn't scream potential, I don't know what does. So what's on the horizon? Well, more drilling in 2024. Now, if their deposits are defined as expected, we're looking at potentially over 5 billion pounds of nickel. That could potentially catapult their market cap from 20 million, roughly what it is now, to, we've seen other companies go to 200 to 400 million. Now, there's no guarantees, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, but this is the potential of what we've seen with other companies in the past. So let's put this in perspective. Their nickel grade of 0.33%, it's becoming increasingly attractive to major mining companies. Polymet, with a lower grade, boasts a $500 million market cap, and Alaska Energy Metals is flying under the radar for now, but not for long. Now, Alaska is laying down roads, literally making this area ripe for major companies to swoop in, and the potential here is staggering. So again, Alaska Energy Metals, that stock ticker symbol AKEMF, has a unique nickel project in Alaska, a visionary CEO of 35 years in the game, and a project that's got billionaires' attention. So keep your eyes on Alaska Energy Metals. It's not just a company, it's a revolution in the making. So everyone, what do you think about all these huge events that are happening in the world right now? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching. You're awesome. I'll see you all in the next video.